episode 22, Discounts and Being on Purpose. I'm here with Dr. Justin Trosclair. Welcome to the mini-sode. We just wrapped up a 3, maybe 4 week financial series. We had student loan, income-based repayment, and a lot of different definitions, 401ks, Roth, trust and wills, estate planning, life insurance, universal life, using that as a part of your retirement. And then if we got the fourth one, it would be real estate and what you can do for your business, buying and selling duplexes and all that. Really informative. You know, like I said before, there's a lot of doctors that come out with $200,000 or more in debt. You could have it for 30 years. It affects everything. You always got to worry about it, assuming you don't become one of those top 10% that make a ton of money. It seems like a lot of people are kind of stuck in that middle range where life is okay, life is good. Wasn't as good as you thought it was going to be financially, but it's not bad. Like you still have a good life. So you always just have that in your mind, like, man, I got to pay my student loan. I got all these other things I got to pay for. So it's just a good series to sharpen your tool belt, start planning for retirement, especially if you're young and you don't have anything planned for that and you really haven't thought about it. You're just focusing on school. Here's a way to get that mental juice flowing. Well, speaking of juices, another page I'm subscribed to on Facebook is Cairo Sushi, and they really talk about this guy, Sean Deal, like all the time. And I don't know much about the guy. I know he's got a coaching program and he's got these programs that you can buy and all this. But it just came out with a new book. So I was like, well, that'll be interesting to hear him talk about his book. So I found the podcast, and it's actually kind of cool. It's called Author Hour, None of Your Business with Sean Deal. A little bit later, I downloaded a few other author hours, and I'll have notes on some of those later in the future. It's just, what a great concept, right? The author talking about their book. Because let me tell you, sometimes books don't have a lot of meat to it. So when they talk about it, you actually almost get the entire point of the book without having to buy it or read it or listen to it or anything. You just hear them talk about it at 1.8 speed or 1.6 speed on your podcast. So I thought that's kind of cool. So here we go. Here's the main points I got. You know, became a doctor, became a lawyer, whatever. Not to really be in business, but to be the best at that field. But then you realize, like, wow, all of a sudden I got to be good at business. I got to be good at marketing. I got to do all these things until you can afford to, like, branch it out to somebody else. But, like, you still have to be in it. You still have to have a successful business to stay helping people, right? If you go broke, it's not going to help. So his idea is you got to embrace that. And if you can't figure it out, like, you won't be in business. Like I said, you won't help nobody. His thought, there's lots of people in the world, and you can niche down on whatever you want, but, like, you're only going to treat the people who you're meant to serve. You know, I guess that's one way to think about it. I guess that's the idea of these people came to your clinic because they match up with you. I mean, I definitely do think there is a personality. Whenever I have certain people come in, they would drain me, and I have other people, and I'm like, yes. So if I had a practice full of those types of people, it'd be like, whoa, this is amazing every day. It's so fun. What? And if I had a practice full of those other people, I'd be like, how am I attracting these? Like, if you're marketing and you have a certain personality, you're going to attract those types of people to your clinic. So part of that, like I just kind of mentioned, is just knowing who you serve best and who you like to serve and get the best results with. Like, who do you like to serve? And that should be your focus because you're good at it. You like doing it because you can be good at it and not enjoy it. Like, if you hate shoulder work, but you're good at it, man, you just don't want to have a bunch of shoulders all day. But if you love neck pain and you can get neck pain patients, then you got both. Like, I'm good at neck pain. They get better. Yes, life is good, right? So you got to figure out, where do they hang out? And so when you're doing your marketing, your shows, your social media, what books are they reading? What shows are they watching? And Facebook does all of that. So if you have a customer list and you narrow that down to, like, hey, let's go through the last 2 years of emails and let's put down the people that we really enjoyed. And then just have them as a list on Facebook. Load those up and do a lookalike audience for your area. You'll find more people that they have relate to, and you give it some time and you can actually see, like, these are the top pages that they see. Sports, jobs types they have. So you can really get a good insight of what's going on. And that's fun. Always set goals with the end in mind. Otherwise, you're making money and you have no idea what you want to do with it. Like, why are you making all this money? You just keep going and going and going, and you don't feel fulfilled. You get burned out and you don't know why. And it's because you just didn't have a real purpose. So you got to figure it out. Like, the GPS is going to show you where you are, but unless you have a destination, it's not going to give you that roadmap, right? And one thing you can visualize, what would your life look like if you had the income that you wanted, right? There's a value that you have, there's a price, and there's affordability. And you should look at those when you're determining your prices. And then, of course, any kind of discounts you want to give. So value, price, and affordability, those kind of have to go into play. Like, we know we're getting people back to playing golf. That value for that person is probably worth thousands and thousands of dollars. However, the affordability is probably not going to be a $5,000 case. So maybe it's more like $1,200, And so when we're talking about discounts, oh man, especially if you live in a hometown, well, wherever you are, you eventually get friends, you go to church or something like that, whatever you're part of, and people are like, hey man, will we go do this together? Can I get a discount? And you're like, if I discount you, I got to discount everybody. And if you discount too much, actually the overhead per visit is higher than the actual price that you're charging. So you always have to keep in that in mind. Like if you look at your expenses and you look at how much revenue you brought in and you divide those, you can figure out like it actually cost you $26.50 per patient. If that's the case, you can't just charge $26.50. You have to charge more than that. Otherwise you actually lose money. All right. Now also friends, family, whatever, you might be, say, a coach, a consultant, and you charge $495 a month, okay, for like a couple of hours of conversation throughout the month and whatever, and they want a discount on your service, and you're like, dude, do you know how much like I charge? Like, it's crazy. Like I can't discount like that. Like I charge $495, and you want me to do something for you for free, and we're not even that close of friends. So you gotta be careful with that. And one of his, I think, scenarios was figure out what is your limit on a discount or free. Is it one per quarter, once per month, a dollar amount per month that you might do? And that's totally up to you. I mean, if you want and you look at that as like, that's part of what I do, I will give away $300 worth of care per month. First come, first serve, whatever, however you want to look at it. I don't think there's really anything wrong with that, because you have a service that is good, that people need. And if you're financially okay and you can give that away, I think that's great. And that person will be very thankful for that. So I want to say, just things to consider about Deal's perspective and his new book. Thanks for tuning in again. We just went #behind the curtain. Tell your friends.